It's Monday, May 2nd, and this past weekend, things got a little eventful. I ate some mushrooms that I found in my car. They were dried out, but they were, magical mushrooms. I definitely ingested them, and things got a little bit weird. Just tried to change my evening up. That happened on Saturday. I saw Dave Chappelle in the kitchen at the Comedy Store wearing a captain's hat, smoking a cigar. That happened on Friday. I went to a musical event on Sunday where Ryan Cabrera was playing. Yellow Card was playing. A little bit of a walk through some singer-songwriters of the past decade. So that was pretty cool. I read this story this morning that over the weekend, a young man in India was trying to take a selfie of him pointing a gun at his head, and you can guess what happened. He didn't live through it. I guess I guess he was holding the camera and the gun at the side of his head, and then the camera back at him on his phone, and just kind of pressed the wrong trigger. Honestly, I think I read that of 49 fatalities over 3 years worldwide from selfies, there have been 49 fatalities during people's attempt to take a selfie. 19 of those, nearly 40%, were in India. And I can't figure out why. I mean, I got some Indian buddies that kind of shake, like their head kind of, they got that free little wobble with it, jiggle with it, wobble with it, wig jiggle with it, wobble, twerk, like their neck twerks a little. When they're talking and stuff, they got that little bit of vibrance in them. But I can't imagine that's what's, causing it. But 40%, this young man. Sad story, but I mean, who's doing that? I feel for the kid, but jeepers creepers, you can't be fake shooting yourself in the head. You just cannot be doing it. So, and I think it's that whole thing with like you rub your stomach with one hand and rub your head with the other hand. Like that thing's, that's hard to do, that little trick that people is like, oh, rub your hand one way and the other way. I bet that's probably what happened when you hold the gun, you hold the phone, and you just get confused a little bit because you're looking in the phone as a reflection of you. You're seeing, trying to line up the picture, and then you press the wrong capture button. And that fella captured in heaven for eternity. Anyway, so hate to hit you with that Debbie Downer right out of the gate, but I just thought that was some real Darwinian shit. So this past weekend, Friday, I didn't do too much. I did comedy shows. I'm watching the show Love right now. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's on Netflix. It's a new series that's on there. It's from Judd Apatow. It's amazing. If you haven't seen it, Paul Rust, I think is the guy's name in it, the male lead. Dude is hilarious. I think you'll like that if you get to check it out. I'm also watching Marco Polo. I'm trying to get into that. Yes, I was on stage with Joe Rogan on Friday night. He brought me up. That was pretty cool. Brought me up just means he was on the lineup before me. So that was pretty awesome. I got to see some of my favorites this weekend performing around the Comedy Store. The weekend got interesting. On Saturday, I was driving and I went to wash my car. I cleaned out from under the seats, found a bag of mushrooms that had been in there for a while, and ate them. Just said, you know what? I'm going to change the game a little bit. I'm going to eat I'm going to shroom out a little bit. I remember shrooming one time back in the day and got way fucked up, dude, and cooked a pizza in a dryer. So it takes two cycles of permanent press to get a medium pretty good. But yeah, so got pretty started to feel pretty lit. And then I was on a street corner, ran into my neighbors who I don't see very much. So that was weird because I didn't know like how to act towards them. Like I couldn't remember how good of friends we were. So it was fucking way awkward. Talked to them for a while. Went to a costume party. Was dancing with a friend of mine who gets hella aggressive. This girl, she like starts body blocking people on the dance floor and like really commanding her space. And it was like dancing with like Chris Farley, kind of not in a physical sense. She's an attractive chick, but just like straight up body blocking fools out there on the dance floor. That shit was hilarious, dude. I actually had to quit dancing at one point because I was laughing so hard. Hit on some chicks at the bar that were younger than me. They basically looked at me as if I never, ever would have a chance with them. So that was cool. Had that weird experience where some guy across the bar is like, it looks like he's talking to you. I go over there, and I thought I recognized him. So I went over there to say what's up. I just couldn't remember how I knew him. I get over there, like tap him on the shoulder. Dude, I'm like, what up? Dude turns around, fucking nothing. We have no. He's like, he's like, I'm just getting a drink, man. I'll be done in just a second. I was like, fuck, I don't know. There was a gay guy in there who was kind of lurking. That was like every time I'd be like on the dance floor, like I'd be just like boozing, like in the distance, I would see this young guy kind of like posturing and kind of lurking like a little peacock, heavy on the cock. And so I had to fucking, just, look the other way. Fucking, it's like weird. Like now I got to ask, I have to act like I'm not interested, Like that's the weird thing, You're not into fellas, a dude checks you out, like you got to act like you're not interested. So there was a chain of not interested going around the bar. I was not interested in that guy. Those chicks were not interested in me. Then I went did both my comedy sets on mushrooms. That was pretty interesting. But both of them went good. By the second one, I was kind of coming down, so that was chill. What else? Yesterday, that was Sunday, I went to this thing called Vino Palooza. Because, they added Palooza on the back of everything now. And I went to Vino Palooza in Marina Del Rey. And that's where some of those bands were performing. Yellow Card, Ryan Cabrera, Trev Lukather. Who all was out there, man? Everybody was out there, man. It was a blast, dude. I had some good conversations talking with a couple of guys that played professional sports, hearing what some of their stories were like. One buddy of mine, this guy Owen, was a kicker for the Patriots. He was drafted by the Patriots years ago, and this was before Tom Brady like struck it big. This is when Bledsoe was still there, and Tom Brady was an understudy. And he said it was funny because Brady used to hold Brady would hold the ball when he would kick it, because that's what there's always a holder for the extra points. And for the field goals, and so he just remembers that's who his practice partner was because they were both, not starters, and so Brady would hold the ball for him while he kicked it. Kind of just a neat story, just to show, it's not where you are, it's where you're headed. You always got to remember to, kind of set that up, put things in a perspective. I'm sure Tom Brady at that point, who knows what he was thinking, but. If you look at where you are or where you were to where you are, that's the way to do it. See your progress. So that was this past weekend, dude. Kind of uneventful. I'm ready for this week. I'm going in full steam. I started off great today. I'm going to keep it going. I wish everybody an amazing week. I'll be in Tempe in 2 weeks, Tempe, Arizona at the Tempe Improv. That's May 12th through the 15th. And then I'll be in Cleveland. And that is June 2nd through the 5th at the Hard Rock Rocksino. And then I'll be in Atlanta, and that is at the Atlanta Punchline, and that is June 9th through the 12th. So, yeah, I hope everything's good with everybody. Y'all be swell. God bless. Stay confident. Keep going forward. And that's just it, man. That's the lesson that made me think. It's not where you started, it's where you're ending up. And make sure just value that distance. Like, oh, I started here, but here's where I am now. Make sure to put things into perspective and see how far you've come. Continue to grow. Let's fucking do this. I'm ready for this week, and this was this past weekend.